Hi book lovers, this is Angie Kent and this is my new book, If You Don't Laugh, You'll Cry. So this is from @BrookeSimmons on Instagram. How did you find the writing process compared to being on Gogglebox and The Bachelorette? So for me, I've always been really passionate about writing. I did creative writing both in uni at Brisbane and when I was studying in the States. I always found that kind of like a creative kind of process outlet for me. So compared to being on Gogglebox and Bachelorette, I think writing comes easier to me because I feel like I communicate better through my words. That's how I feel. I feel like I can say everything more when I'm writing it down, whereas Gogglebox, you kind of, the brain to mouth ratio can get me in trouble a little bit. I don't have time to think, I just say it. So that's very different. At least with writing, I can kind of think about it a little more and get a little bit more in depth. And yeah, Bachelorette, oh gosh. I didn't have a lot of time to think. I just always acted on my feet. Probably can get me in trouble sometimes. But yeah, it's completely different. So this question is from Kathy from Facebook. You and Evie definitely bring out the best in each other. How did you meet each other and do you still get to see her as you were both so busy now? That is a very good question. I agree. I think Evie and I definitely bring out the best in each other, sometimes the worst because we're very naughty when we're together and we stir each other up a lot. There is quite a lot about Evie and I in the book, but I will let you know how Evie and I met. It was about, how old am I? I'm 30 soon. So about 9 years ago, I was doing some promo work while I was interning in film, television, behind the scenes. And she was my Mrs. Claus and I was her elf. And she was just so incredibly inappropriate and she had a microphone. I do not know who decided to give her a microphone. Insane, but brilliant. And it was like love at first sight. As soon as I heard her carrying on that microphone, I was just smitten. We do get to see each other. She lives in Melbourne and I'm kind of between Sydney and Queensland, so we don't get to see each other as much, but we talk like every day on the phone. And I just smashed like 50 pizzas with her last night, so we're still very close. So this is from @SiltonJordan on Instagram. Is it true that you have a fear of belly buttons? It is actually true. It's called omphilophobia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I could be saying it a little bit wrong. I got diagnosed with it like properly from my surgeon who did my keyhole surgery for my endometriosis. You have to go through the belly button. And I was like, seriously, that was my fear, not getting cut open, was the fact that he'd have to touch my belly button. My dad has it too. So it's like a family thing. No one can touch my belly button, and if I see anybody else touching their belly button, even the thought of it makes me feel a bit spewy. So yes, it's a proper fear. So this is from @TCop on Instagram. Which Gogglebox family do you want to write a book? That's a very interesting question. I've never really thought of that before. But I would have to say probably the Silbury women. They are just absolutely beautiful and they range from the ages of 90 to, I don't want to say her age, I'm going to say 60s and then 30s. And they're just the most beautiful, smartest women that have had some pretty intense stories and it's their story to tell. Everybody's got a story. So I think they'd be amazing at writing for all three of them. So this next one is from @KaylaJessieGresh on Instagram. Do you have any tips for days when your confidence is low? I have 1,000 tips. You can find a lot of them in the book. My biggest tip is probably when my confidence is low, which can happen quite a lot being in the public eye. Sometimes, you read things you don't want to read and it can really kick you in the guts and you question yourself and you question everything you do. I just remember to stay very grounded. I try to get outside and do some exercise, practicing mindful meditation, writing stuff down that I'm grateful for, and just remembering my worth and what I've done and my achievements. Everybody has down days. I'm not confident all the time. Actually, a lot of the time I'm not confident. I'm very good at pretending I am, which helps. But yeah, heaps of tips in the book, just from living and learning. Seriously, you're not gonna know unless you go through something. But yeah, definitely get outside, get amongst nature. Take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground and just do some deep breaths. That's probably my biggest one. You can get my new book, If You Don't Laugh, You'll Cry, at Dimmicks now.